Hello, my name is Michael Pomphrey, and I'm the director of this TRiO documentary. I'm also the project director for Disabled Student Support Services here at Pikes Peak Community College. This documentary started a little over a year ago with the intention of capturing students' experiences in working with TRiO, as well as the staff's experience in working with those students. Along the way, we'll talk a little bit about the history of TRiO, as well as the history of student support services and disabled student support services at Pikes Peak Community College. And in addition, we'll look at the required services of the grant, as well as the eligibility for students to access services. And then we'll kind of really get into what it is that we actually do to help our students. This documentary is a little over 30 minutes. It can be watched in its entirety, or it can be broken up into 2 segments. So please sit back and enjoy. And if you have questions, our contact information will be at the end of the film. Thank you.
We need TRiO. Folks in Congress want to zero that out of the budget. I think it's so important that all of us as students and as educators to not pit this program against the other, but to hold folks in Washington accountable for investing in education.
Many of them, the students that have no options, they have parents that haven't gone to college. They are, for the first time, have their grade point averages have gone up.
What is the proper role of the federal government in supporting students pursuing higher education in the future and with the reality of today's world?
And I think it's so important that as young people, as voters, as family, your voices be heard.
So we ought to be looking holistically at how to best support and advance the opportunities that students have through career and technical training.
I'm Ed Casada. I am the previous director of the TRiO Student Support Services Project here at Pikes Peak Community College.
My name is Megan Fuller. I am the academic and tutoring coach for TRiO Disabled Student Support Services.
I'm Mike Couillard. I'm the TRiO Student Support Services Director here at Pikes Peak Community College.
My name is Selena Moore Allen. I am a math tutor.
My name is Dr. Christine Chavez, and I am the DSSS counselor.
Sabine Carter, Grant Specialist.
My name is Carrie Riffey, Grant Specialist.
I'm Jennifer O'Brien. I'm the Transition Specialist with TRiO Student Support Services.
There was a realization that students that are low income, first generation, disabled students were performing at lower levels. And so in order to fill in that gap, the federal government created 3 programs, Student Support Services being one of the 3, and that's why we are called TRiO.
We originally had wrote for the TRiO Student Support Services grant back in 1992, and we weren't funded. And so then again we tried in 1996. We thought we had another good grant again. You know, we worked as a team to get the grant off, worked collaboratively with a number of different departments, and it didn't get funded. So the year 2000 rolls around, we got the notice, it came in over a fax, and I realize now that that opening sentence of the grant that was funded was that the call for a Student Support Services project at Pikes Peak Community College is based on the need of our students. And that's what the Department of Education was looking for. You have to really believe in these things to make them work.
It's a myriad of responsibilities, from keeping the budget and some of the administrative aspects of the grant, our annual performance report, to where I would say the rubber meets the road, working with students. That's my favorite part about the whole job.
While I do serve a caseload of students and just try to help them get through their associates, I'll spend a big portion of the fall semester and spring semester arranging campus tours to four-year universities. TRiO programs have a lot of connections at these other institutions that'll help waive their application fee. We'll connect them with advisors in other TRiO programs, other financial aid officers and counselors, so they get a lot of support on our end to help get them transitioned and get them over there so that they're more prepared.
My job here is to work with students to make sure that their mental health is moving along okay and that they're not too stressed out so that they can focus more on their school activities.
I make sure that we follow the grant and all the documents are in order.
So as a grant specialist, I help our program with the legislative and regulations.
I see students one-on-one. I keep track of our tutoring pool.
The requirements of the grant are for us to graduate a certain number of our students and transfer into a four-year school. We're actually measured by that on our annual performance report. 2/3 of those students will be
First generation, low income and disabled students.
If they need help with tutoring, then we can help them get tutors. If they need help with counseling, we have counseling.
It's a great opportunity to really feel connected on campus and to get that support that you need that you may not be able to get at home.
I think we're helping students realize that they have the potential within themselves to be scholars. How do you go from being mom, a dad, a soldier to being a student? And what does that entail? We draw it out of them. We help them recognize that they can be successful in an academic setting. Whatever their goals are, they can achieve those goals, and we just help them along the way.
One of the things that I thought that was really nice about being in TRiO, we actually have more than 15 minutes to talk about a problem.
One of my favorite stories is about a young man that came out of a very dysfunctional family situation. My favorite part with him is that he developed, not only as a student, but he also developed a great deal as a person, as a leader. So he's totally changed his path from where he was before.
Very first student I ever saw was a completely blind student. So it was not only my first experience as an advisor, but as a TRiO student support service member. And he came in very intimidated. Obviously this was a whole new experience from him. He had had a lot of support in high school. We had to really reach out and see who we could work with and partner with to make him feel like he could do this. He could navigate the campus by himself. He could go to classes. He could, do everything that a normal student could do with math, Excel, with his science classes, with English, and with reading.
Sometimes we come into college with these certain expectations of what we're going to achieve or what we can't do or we're never going to make it through. And just seeing students be able to work through all of those doubts and fears and come out on the other side and like, I did it, is amazing. It's even as a student, I remember when I came through, I never thought I would do it. And I was so thankful just to have people around me that were supporting me the whole time. Now I get to be a part of that support system.
I would say the most gratifying thing is probably the gratitude. People come here, and a lot of the times they've tried a lot of other places, but they haven't quite gotten the help that they were hoping to get, and then they come here and we just happen to be able to get them what they were looking for and just almost see like relief on people.
I love what I do, so that's why I'm here. And it's about giving back to others and seeing their success. It's all about the student's success.
Whenever you get to watch them walk across the stage, they just feel accomplished. They come back and they want to hug you and thank you and just say, I couldn't have done this without you. So that's always been something that is just so meaningful and makes our jobs worthwhile.
The challenge is, trying to reach out to students that need our help.
And it's easy to make judgments about students when they come through the door. They've got a lot of things going on. The odds are against them.
A lot of times we'll see just high levels of stress, which tend to bring out a lot of times depression, anxiety.
Students are overwhelmed or it's hard for them to come in for their appointment.
They might have a number of different issues at home. They might be homeless. They might not have the time to spend with their studies. They might be full-time employed. They might be a full-time student, and they might have 2 or 3 kids at home.
And they are, coming to class and trying to deal with regular life.
Just talking to them and providing answers for them
can take that pressure off of them so that they can focus more in school or on their homework and tests.
But you see them pull it off though. And you see them come through the door maybe 5 years, 10 years later, they're working in their field. Often what happens with students that I've met over time is that if things don't work out well for them first time around, it's not the end of the world, because the college will still be here and we'll still be here to serve them when they come back.
Every semester we go over goals with the student success plan.
We help you get to your next goal. We help you try to and set those goals, achievable goals.
We help them with time management, career planning,
Advising, mentoring.
We provide tutors.
Last semester we had computer science, zoology, math, English,
Philosophy, history,
and public speaking.
We help with motivation, transferring. If you want to transfer, we help you find money to support that transfer.
And we did some financial aid based workshops. We did a kind of a group scholarship application.
Those are things that we always envision students having access to.
My name is Jean Sells. My official job title here at Pikes Peak is Debt Default Management Advisor. I had graduated with my 2-year degree from Pikes Peak Community College, and I happened to meet with an advisor, a TRiO advisor with the Southern Colorado Educational Opportunity Center is what they were called at that time. Soon after I got enrolled with CSU Pueblo, I interviewed for a work study position with TRiO, and I stayed with TRiO as a work study for several semesters. It took me quite a few years to graduate, but I was the first in my family to graduate with my 4-year degree.
I was a first-generation college student that came to college at the age of 33. The advisors really helped me through life challenges that I was experiencing at the time. I used a transfer specialist to help me graduate and transfer to Colorado College. I graduated, and then when I had the opportunity to come back and was offered a position here, I just jumped on the chance to get back to the college that helped me get my start.
I have found no job that means to me what this job does. I tell people that this job is a role that allows me to live out my personal mission statement and be who I am. I love what I do.
I think one of the biggest things with our students is that they think that going to class is enough. I go to class, I do the homework, I'm participating, and you have to communicate in class, and most students don't realize that.
What happens is a lot of folks underestimate how much time it takes to be in school. Often, sometimes students sign up for a full load. I have to have a full load for financial aid. Now I'm working full time, and I've got 2 or 3 kids. And that's a recipe for the odds being against you as well, too. You know, you want your successes to build on each other. It is true, for every hour you spend in class, you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 hours a night working, doing homework, and work with other students as well too. That really speeds up your learning process. That really strengthens and deepens your learning.
I think the greatest thing that students can do for themselves when getting into any college is to find out what services are offered on campus. They can do that by asking a multitude of people. They can start by even admissions. Admissions can tell them what kind of services the campus offers, as well as campus life or student life.
My biggest advice to students would be to seek out resources as soon as they get onto campus. Looking and seeing what is available, where tutoring services are, where disability services are, what's available in career planning and advising, what services like TRiO exist.
Word of mouth, I find, is probably one of the best ways for students to get to know about the different services.
Those students who continually meet with their advisors on a regular schedule, whether it be once a week or once every other week or what have you, those are the students who do well and go on to succeed and transfer or graduate.
Ask other students. They will tell you the truth. They will tell you their experiences, and then it also helps you connect with other students. Making friends in college is something that'll help your mental health, and you can keep these friends for a lifetime.
The biggest advice that I give over and over again is pursue your dreams.
My name is Jacob Strickland. I am a computer science major with an emphasis in cybersecurity.
My name is Howard Stephen Guy. I go by Stephen.
Rachel Morgan. I am getting an Associate of Arts degree.
My name is Shelby Bryce Thomas. My major is in General Studies.
Deborah Bouzier, and I'm going into Mass Communication.
My name is April Slauson. I am majoring in an Associate of Science.
My name is Shixia Fang. My major is Business Transfer.
I'm an English major going for technical writing.
My name's Steve Holmes. Just finished my associate's degree here at Pikes Peak Community College.
Well, my name is Cody Etzel. I'm majoring in multimedia graphic design.
My name is Tracy Asher, and I major in the Medical Office Technology program, focused on medical assistant.
Stephanie Anna Russell, going for an Associates of Arts degree.
My name is Ashley McAdam, and currently I'm a pre-nursing student looking to major in nursing.
My name is Lenore Macias, and I'm majoring in Associate of Arts in Business.
In my first semester, I heard about TRiO, and a couple of things that came off the top. I was a first-generation college student, but I'm also low income, and so both of those areas got me into the TRiO program and really got me into something that was very valuable.
I'm a first generation, so I thought maybe I could fit into the program, and I applied and I was accepted.
I thought maybe it was for people that were struggling more. So when I met with somebody and asked them, it turned out that it did apply to me.
So I actually never went to school past the 3rd grade. And so I was not homeschooled. I didn't have any technical learning past the 3rd grade, but I loved reading. And I got a job when I was turning 18 at Walmart. I decided this was not the life I wanted. I wanted to do something better for myself. A friend of mine who went to Pikes Peak Community College, she suggested let's go to Pikes Peak Community College. You know, you can get a degree, you can better yourself. And so she took me here, and I got registered, and she said, because I'm a first generation student, I didn't have a parent or anybody who went to college. She suggested TRiO. She said, you know, you can go there, they'll help you out because they help first generation students.
It's the math, because math is really not my forte. I usually have problems like I'll get like certain symbols and math equations mixed up.
I know most people probably say math, but that's probably got to be my biggest struggle.
Probably English, because I haven't been in school for a while.
Quadratic equations, when I first started doing those are absolutely awful for me. Getting into different linear algebra and things like that, you know, when you start mixing in the letters and all that good stuff, that was very challenging for me when I started getting into the more difficult math.
Microbiology. Everything about it is very abstract almost, because even though you can see cells and you can see bacteria, a lot of the functions of bacteria are completely, like, you literally can't see it.
Math has always been my kryptonite, and it's just always frustrated me, confused me. It's even kept me up at night because I was stressing out over it so bad.
The most difficult was, I would say, public speaking, but it actually has made me stronger, and I feel I could socialize better.
Definitely public speaking. That was the class that going into it, was most afraid of, most anxious about. And it ended up being my favorite class because the professor, Christy Callahan, she made it a lot of fun. I actually learned skills that I've been able to use ever since then.
There's so many good classes here at Pikes Peak Community College. That's a tricky question.
My favorite class? That's a hard one to say.
Well, my favorite class has been so far were cultural anthropology, the two histories, and now I'm getting to really like sociology.
It was ancient art, and while it's not even close to my major, I thoroughly enjoyed that class, learning from prehistoric art to near modern art and everything in between. It was just an amazing course for just learning something new and interesting culturally as well.
What I really enjoy the most is my accounting class. It was the toughest class I've ever taken. It's the one that I learned the most, the one that I can use on a daily basis, that's really helpful, practical. I can, apply the knowledge that I learned from accounting to our daily life.
Really love anatomy. I like memorizing all of that and learning. It's anatomy and physiology, so you get to learn the function as well as all the parts, and just how your body works is fascinating to me.
My group communication class with Professor Callahan, it was her style of teaching, her way of going about things. That was probably my most favorite class.
The biggest challenge for me, I would say, is just adjusting to the college life.
I would say at first it was definitely confidence. I didn't have any confidence going into college.
My biggest fear was not being, if I would be able to finish.
Probably scheduling and homework time has probably been, being very, very careful of, okay, it's my lunch hour, I really need to work on, my English or reading, or, making sure that I take a textbook to work.
I was very frustrated with where I was in life. Living paycheck to paycheck, I would go home and play video games and watch movies, and I would hang out with friends. And I just felt like there was something out there for me that was better than that, bigger than that. I wanted to better myself, I wanted to better my future family, I wanted to better the community.
My daughter, when I open up my books, will sit there and, Mommy, I want to do homework too. It's not necessarily, let me draw with you, let me do homework with you, or can I play with your calculator? I'm going to do math too. And so it's kind of exciting to see a preschooler that excited.
My passion for the subject that I'm learning, it fascinates me, and I would like to be the best nurse I can be, best whatever I decide to be. I want to gain as much knowledge as possible and really be one of those people who just are a black hole of knowledge. Like they're just so full of they're experts in their field, and that's what I admire most. And so that's my goal, and that's what inspires me to do well.
My son, graduating for him, because I want to show him when it comes to his time for college, I wanted to show him that, look, Mom didn't give up.
Getting resources, I could say, because you were the one that helped me get a counselor. And if I need anything like tutoring or anything like that, or know where to go.
TRiO and working with you has helped me a lot to focus on the things I need to focus. For instance, I had not been in to meet the nursing program and talk to them about really what I do need, and you encouraged me to do that. And when I did that, I found out that I had to take my CNA courses before the application deadline, not after the fact. So that actually helped me a lot.
Scholarships has been a big one since I'm a mom of 4 kids and a husband and I work full time. It's kind of really hard to make, ends meet with the budget. So, scholarships are one of those things that, students really look for.
You provided the tools to help me, to give me the emotional support and the academic support that I needed to succeed.
They helped me a lot with tutoring because I needed math tutoring.
And then they helped me to apply for my financial aid. They have helped me to get scholarships.
For me to get into that 4-year school, which was scary in and of itself. They helped me with the admissions process. She was able to help me with the FAFSA at that time, scholarship search, and they eased my worries.
Make sure when you're signing up for your classes that maybe when you're taking that math class, you have a fun class to go with it.
The best advice I can give is to take advantage of the program you've been allowed to be a part of.
I think it's important regardless of anyone's age. If you're thinking about going back to school, don't second guess yourself. Do it.
I would say absolutely come to TRiO. They will pour their hearts out to help you.
It's a wonderful program, and I highly recommend it. Again, the advisors are just wonderful. If you do have any kind of issue, you just come to them.
If you want to be somewhat successful, and it could be anything. If you want to go into nursing, business, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to be able to make some sacrifices in your personal life. So if you're willing to make some sacrifices, if you're willing to work hard, literally work till 2 o'clock in the morning if you have to get up at 6 to get the grades, then you'll go far.
This is good for anybody who's really need help, especially people with disability. I think that, they should really use the service. If they really need it, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to go seek help. Don't be afraid for anything.
The best advice is to take advantage of all the services that are here for them.
You shouldn't be afraid to ask something that you genuinely need to know. When you hesitate, that's when you get into trouble.
If you know there's something going on in class, you're better off meeting with them, beginning of the school semester instead of in the middle or the end and trying to catch up.
I, for example, don't comprehend very well. And so one of those things is finding different ways to work that, reading out loud, and asking as many questions as possible, even if it sounds like it's a stupid question. Email your professor to figure out what's going on because they may be able to put it in a different way.
As hard as it can be sometimes, don't be shy. Get to know your peers, your faculty, and importantly, get to know what all the resources at the college are.
If you need the help, the services are there. Take advantage of it.
Don't be afraid to engage and use the tools that they offer here at the campus.
Don't stop, even though you may change your mind in your major as you go along. Be happy in what you do.
You will be able to achieve your dreams, but you have to work hard and don't ever give up, and don't let that fear ever stop you from trying.
I would just say probably buckle down. I mean, there's been times where I won't go sit in our break room to do homework because I know there'll be a distraction in there, where I'll go out in the middle of wintertime and I'll sit in my car and read because I know that my reading is more important. Even though I want to go socialize with somebody in the break room, I really need to read that chapter 3 for English.
One of the things that I've learned in the last few years is that it's not necessarily the most intelligent people who end up succeeding in college or in life. It's the grittiest people. And so I know I'm not the most intelligent person, but I'm really gritty. I mean, I worked at Walmart for 10 years. I was basically uneducated. I did not have a high school degree. I didn't even go to middle school. I just knew how to read. Math, I looked at this and I was like, okay, I know what 1 + 1 equals, but you add X's and O's and algebra and I hate you. And there are definitely times where I'm like, I need to be doing better. Why am I not doing better in life or at school? And then they'll remind me, it wasn't but 5 years ago you didn't have any education beyond 3rd grade. And so I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
I was working initially when I came, and I ended up having to drop work because of my school load. Recognizing that balance was tough for me because I'm the kind of person who's like, yeah, I can work, I can do a million things that I can't do.
I know at one point in time, because of work and everything that I was going through, I was thinking about pulling out of school and pulling out of TRiO, and just because I thought I was taking away from somebody else who could benefit from the programs. And then I turned around and decided that was not a very good option because it probably, 1, wouldn't come back, the whole reason for, you know, coming to school and taking this time to take those classes was gone.
There's plenty of times I probably could have given up having surgeries and taken a semester off and then just said, okay, I'm done. But I was like, no, I'm determined.
I mean, I worked really hard to get here, and I know a lot of my classmates at Pikes Peak Community College and elsewhere, they worked really hard to get where they're going. And I have to say that looking back and looking forward and looking where I am now, it feels sweet. I'm proud of myself. I actually accomplished something that wasn't getting past a level in a video game or something like that.
I kept waiting for the right time. And the right time, I turned around and I said, you know, if I don't do this, I'm never gonna do it. So I just decided to do the now. And part of it was, you know, my daughter coming home in the 2nd grade and be like, Mommy, I wanna be an art teacher and a dance teacher. And telling her that's great, and, you know, wanting her to follow her dreams. And my sons wanna be, you know, a policeman and a fireman. The idea of them never actually achieving those was pretty heartbreaking and going, oh man. And then I looked in the mirror and I was like, well, you've let yours kind of slip by the wayside. So I'm gonna step up and make mine achieved.
Having people that are there to be supportive and to hold you up when you needed it.
There's resources available to any student, to anybody who wishes to even start at a community college level. The opportunity is there, we just have to make the effort.
TRiO is here to really help you, and they actually care about you as an individual, not as a number.
TRiO just wants to see their students succeed and to do well with their journey through college.
In my public speaking class, I did a speech, and it turned out that the staff came and they were there in my moment, and it was so special to me.
Mike was my TRiO advisor for the first year and a half, maybe 2 years that I was here, and he ended up being one of the most important people that I've had in my life, but also in college. He would actually talk to me, not necessarily about the classes, but about like me, myself, and he made me believe in myself that I could actually do this. If it wasn't for Mike, I would not have went to USC. I would not have graduated from USC.
And someday, if I will get a chance, I will return to PPCC and work for PPCC. For how much they have given me, I'd like to contribute what I could, give it back.
I always tell my kids, follow your dreams and anything is possible. Well, it's kind of hard to do that when you've kind of sort of pushed your own dreams off to the side, which is why I ultimately decided to come back to school.
It's something that it's hard to quantify. I can't tell you how that feels to have, you know, your friends and family be proud that you've accomplished something like that. It's an amazing feeling.
Enjoy every moment that you're here, because, you know, one day you're not going to be. You're going to be stepping up and into your dream job that you may never have thought possible.
As long as you keep stepping, there's no telling where you can go.